Just a loony on a day pass from Acadia mental. She came to him and kissed his cheek. She was flushed from the heat of the dryer and very pretty. She was 50 herself, but looked years younger. Streeter thought she would probably have a fine life after he died. He guessed May and Justin might have a stepdaddy in their future. "You look good," she said. "You've actually got some color." "Do I?" "You do." She gave him an encouraging smile that was troubled just beneath. "Come talk to me while I fold the rest of these things. It's so boring." He followed her and stood in the door of the laundry room. He knew better than to offer help. She said he even folded dish wipers the wrong way. "Justin called," she said. "He and Carl are in Venice. At a youth hostel. He said their cab driver spoke very good English. He's having a ball." "Great. You were right to keep the diagnosis to yourself," she said. "You were right and I was wrong. A first in our marriage." She wrinkled her nose at him. "Zhu has so looked forward to this trip. But you'll have to fess up when he gets back. May's coming up from Searsport for Gracie's wedding, and that would be the right time." Gracie was Gracie Goodhue, Tom and Norma's oldest child. Carl Goodhue, Justin's traveling companion, was the one in the middle. "We'll see," Streeter said. He had one of his puke bags in his back pocket, but he had never felt less like upchucking. Something he did feel like was eating. For the first time in days. "Nothing happened out there, you know that, right? This is just a little psychosomatic elevation. It'll recede. Like my hairline," he said. "What, honey?" "Nothing. Oh, and speaking of Gracie, Norma called. She reminded me it was their turn to have us to dinner at their place Thursday night." "I said I'd ask you, but that you were awfully busy at the bank, working late hours, all this bad mortgage stuff." "I didn't think you'd want to see them." Her voice was as normal and as calm as ever, but all at once she began crying big storybook tears that welled in her eyes and then went rolling down her cheeks. Love grew humdrum in the later years of a marriage, but now has swelled up as fresh as it had been in the early days, the two of them living in a crappy apartment on Kossuth Street and sometimes making love on the living room rug. He stepped into the laundry room, took the shirt she was folding out of her hands, and hugged her. She hugged him back, fiercely. "This is just so hard and unfair," she said. "We'll get through it. I don't know how, but we will." "That's right. And we'll start by having dinner on Thursday night with Tom and Norma, just like we always do." She drew back, looking at him with her wet eyes. "Are you going to tell them? And spoil dinner?" "Nope. Will you even be able to eat? Without?" She put 2 fingers to her closed lips, puffed her cheeks, and crossed her eyes, a comic puke pantomime that made Streeter grin. "I don't know about Thursday, but I could eat something now," he said. "Would you mind if I rustled myself up a hamburger? Or I could go out to McDonald's. Maybe bring you back a chocolate shake." "My God," she said, and wiped her eyes. "It's a miracle,"